Kamba komedia boys meso abo anogara akafurika nzeve dzavo dzinogara dzakafurika zvese connected musharukwa kamba kwevanogaya mari meso abo anogara akafurika nzeve dzavo dzinogara
Right, 12 October 2023, and I would like to apologize for the late start. I was very hectic today because of a lot of things that is happening here. In fact, we were supposed to bring you the interview between Senator Kalipani Pugeni and MP Prince Dubeko Sibanda, which they had last night. So I'm going to upload that interview immediately after this. I'm going to upload that interview so that you can hear for yourself what they were saying about Sengezo Tshabangu. And unfortunately, Sengezo Tshabangu is not able to join today. He was supposed to join us here, but because he's in court, he has been taken to court by the CCC, he's not able to join any public platform. So he's going to have to send other people to speak for him. That is why you see Senator Kalipani Pugeni was speaking for him yesterday, because he can't be on public platforms and then be in court at the same time. But what I want to do now is I want to quickly take you through the press statement that Sengezo Tshabangu has put out and the statements that he's saying in there. I want to take you through what Nelson Chamisa has said today. And specifically, I want to share with you this picture. This is a totally unexplainable picture. And this picture is of Nelson Chamisa with Sengezo Tshabangu standing together in Bulawayo. So this is the clip that I took out, but the main picture is here. So this is the picture of Nelson Chamisa standing with Sengezo Tshabangu and a number of other people from the MDC. So they certainly know each other in person, maybe not personally, but they have physically met. Nelson Chamisa has physically met Sengezo Tshabangu. I also want to show you his speech, what he said today on SABC, and this is the clip.
Are you saying you do not know this person quoted as Sengezo Tshabangu?
No, we don't know that person. That person is not in our structures. We don't even have that person as an office holder.
Right, so this is very damaging for Nelson Chamisa in terms of the optics, in terms of how it looks. It doesn't look good for Nelson Chamisa because he has to explain why he was standing there with Sengezo Tshabangu, but he says he doesn't know him. However, I understand what he's saying. So let me unpack for you what Nelson Chamisa is saying. Nelson Chamisa is saying Sengezo Tshabangu is not a member, an interim secretary general of the CCC. He does not have the authority, and he was not given the authority to send letters to Parliament and to recall the MPs. That was not his mandate, and he's got no locus to do such a thing. Nelson Chamisa is also being backed up by the statements that were made by MP Dubeko last night, which is to say, yes, Sengezo was a chairperson of Matabele Land in the MDC. He was quite high, even before Dubeko. Dubeko said he was one of his advisors in the past. I'll give you that interview later on. I'll play it within the next 20 to 30 minutes. So Dubeko says Sengezo was quite early in the MDC. He was actually a provincial chairperson, and there's no doubt that he's in the structures of the past of the MDC. Before the split, he went to Tendai to the PDP. So there's no dispute about him being a non-person. There's also no dispute of this picture, which I just showed you. So for the guys that have just joined, Nelson Chamisa and Sengezo appear in the same picture here. I don't know how old this picture is. This appears to be during the COVID era. You can see them standing here. I'm sure that is a meeting in Bulawayo. This has been circulated as proof that Nelson Chamisa knows Sengezo and he is not telling the truth. There is also Kutsatapulu. He has come out and said people should not deny that they know Sengezo. So Kutsatapulu is one of the former PDP MPs, one of the prominent MPs who were recalled in the past and went to court. So there is internal friction brewing over this issue of whether Sengezo is known, whether he's got a constituency, whether he's acting on his own, and what he's doing, does it have justification? So I will leave that to Senator Kalipani Pogen. He did answer all those questions in the interview that they had last night at ZFM Studio with MP Dubeko Smanda. But the key point that I want to make here is that Sengezo, what he has done, it has thrown the CCC into disarray. We have a big situation right now in our hands in Zimbabwe, where there is likely going to be an election rerun, basically. If Sengezo does what he threatens to do, if you go to gamboko.com, he has said that any MP of the CCC who defies him is going to recall them, which means if they don't go to parliament, if they don't attend parliament, he's going to recall them. And if he recalls them, we are potentially going to have a fresh election, something that Sengezo Chamisa has been calling for, and his party, the CCC. And ZANU-PF today, they've received major good news from SADC. I'm going to be coming back with that news from SADC tomorrow. I'll be unpacking what SADC has said. And it's not looking good for Chamisa in that front. In terms of SADC, there's nothing which is going to come back from SADC. The dialogue issue, Chamisa has thrown it out there, but it all now depends on President Mnangagwa. So Sengezo now, he's now, I don't know if you can call him a joker, he's holding the MasterCard or the master key to this whole situation in the country. And we're talking here about someone who 2 weeks ago, you could not say who is Sengezo. And I want to repeat the speech by Nelson Chamisa again.
Are you saying you do not know this person quoted as Sengezo Tshabangu?
No, we don't know that person. That person is not in our structures. We don't even have that person as an office holder.
Right. So I think there is a lot more that is coming. There is Nelson Chamisa standing with Sengezo during the COVID era. And I'm sure that is before the past 2 years, maybe 2021, 2022, when the CCC was going through all those changes. So let's watch what is happening. But dramatic events taking place in the CCC. The issue of who is unhappy with Chamisa, who is behind Sengezo, that is a fair question. What is happening? Is it ZANU-PF, or is the guys inside who are just not happy with Nelson Chamisa, and they are trying to just get rid of Chamisa? It's quite possible. There is a possibility here that we're watching an internal coup taking place. And the end game here is obviously to end up with a relationship with ZANU-PF. There is a race which is only going to end at ZANU-PF's door. That is what is going to happen here. Whoever takes over here. Remember what happened with Ngonzo. When he took over, he went to ZANU-PF and attempted to have a GNU with ZANU-PF. But ZANU-PF did not buy it. ZANU-PF does not share power. They will only take you out, but they do not share power. The only way that ZANU-PF shares power with you, if you put him or ED in such a tight corner that he can't breathe, that is the only way that ED is going to share power with you. When things are still okay and everything is moving, even if people are dying on the street of hunger, ED will never share power with you. The only way he can share power with you is if you put him in that corner. And now the CCC has allowed him to wriggle out, and he's free. He's moving freely about right now. He's actually enjoying the free movie. He's bought popcorn. He's sitting in the best seat and he's watching as the events unfold in the CCC. And Tendai Biti, he soon will have to explain himself. The people that are here are from his party, the PDP. He needs to show that he's not part of this. I'm not talking about a tweet. And in fact, I want to show you something. Tendai Biti needs to explain what is his portion in this whole thing. because people like Pulu, Sengezo, these are his people. So are these people doing this thing by themselves? What is his comment? What has he said to them, to these people? Has he told them to stop this thing that they're doing? It needs to come out clean. And similarly, Thokozani Kupe, she needs to come out clean and explain if she is part of this. I want you to play this clip here. I don't know if it's going to play because it's not a prepared clip. So let's try to prepare to play this thing and see whether it's going to play. There is a clip that I saw yesterday, and I'm just here in my backstage. I want to see if this is going to play. Tenabiti needs to explain if he is part of this game. Let's see if this is going to play, because I've got adverts and all that playing on my side. Okay, this is not going to happen. I wish I could get this thing to play so that we can end this discussion with a proper conclusion here on who is who in the zoo. There is someone here who is not being honest with everybody else, and I don't think it's fair to Nelson Chamisa to be in this position.
Yeah, I'm gonna tweet. I'm gonna tweet and say I'm not the president of anything. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, all right. Yeah. So just tell him that I'm gonna tweet. I've been looking for you. So I find you on this one. You find me on this one. We need to talk. I feel that he has been premature with Munanga Kapera Ego.
Okay, so I don't understand the context. I don't want to imply anything. I'm gonna tweet that I'm not the president of anything. Munanga Chapera Ega Uyu. Are they talking about Chamisa here? Who is he talking to? It needs to come out clearly here and explain what is going on. We've got a serious situation in our country, and these guys cannot play games like this. The guys in the CCC, we've been talking a long time. They need to organize themselves. People have lost their lives. People have lost time, and they're giving them so much hope. They need to show some seriousness. They cannot continue with this. Nelson Chamisa needs to address this properly. He needs to address this situation. Today he's written to Parliament. He has begged Parliament to put his MPs back in Parliament. And yet yesterday they said that they're not going to be attending Parliament. So they need to be consistent. They need to be fair to their followers so that people don't end up in trouble for no reason. Yeah, because right now, what is happening is totally unfair to the general followers of the CCC. So I'm going to end with that clip again. Nelson Chamisa here standing with Sengezo Tshabangu, and at the same time claiming that he does not know this guy.
Are you saying you do not know this person quoted as Sengezo Tshabangu?
No, we don't know that person. That person is not in our structures. We don't even have that person as an office holder.
All right, so this is critical moment for Nelson Chamisa. He needs to explain what is happening here. He needs to act decisively. I know Chamisa is going to get out of this one. I know he's going to get out on top. Chamisa is extremely popular. Take it from me. I've spent months upon months with the guys in the CCC. Back when they were MDC, when they were MDCN, MDCT, PDP, I spent hours among those guys. I know them very, very well. People are fanatical in their support to Nelson Chamisa. They love Nelson Chamisa. Every young person that you see, even if they disagree with his strategy, they've got great love for Nelson Chamisa. But the approach that these guys are using now and their inability to construct a system, I always say this, they must construct a system, because you cannot remove ZANU-PF as an individual. They will preempt you and they will hit you from sides you don't expect. So you need to preempt ZANU-PF by creating a system that will remove ZANU-PF, not to do what they're doing now. And if you look at what SADC has done, President Hakainde Hichilema has been totally outmaneuvered by ZANU-PF. And we're going to deal with this tomorrow. This is the situation that we have. As things stand now, the CCC now focused inward. They no longer have the capacity to focus outward because they've put themselves in this position. So this is the current situation that we have. I want to read a few comments here, and I want to start with Laita Karoro. I want to find Laita Karoro. I think he's got an important point that he's making. Unfortunately, I think he's deleted his comment. I would have wanted to show this comment. Laita Karoro said, Gambakwe, your lives are useless. But he chickened out. You say something and then you chicken out. Don't chicken out. Laita, stand by your word. If you say something, stand by it. And then Foreman says, well, he's right. He's not known in the CCC structure. It is different from having met or interacted in other circles. So what I'm saying is, I understand what you're saying, but you're in court. Be very careful what you say, and then what evidence you're going to meet in court. Those are two different things. That is why the CCC was losing the court cases against Monzora. Do you have a constitution? Do you have a member register? Do you have cards? Do you have proof who is who? Do you have date of appointments? Do you have meeting of minutes? Those are the things that you need to show that you've got a structure. And the issue of the structure is not trivial. It's a big issue. What if Pulu comes there and becomes a witness and says that Sengezo is a member, is part of the National Citizens Assembly? What do you do now? You see, there are so many things that can happen here. And you need to be careful, because remember, if BT, like what Debbie is saying here, if BT is part of this plot, we now have a situation. It won't end well. BT is also popular, not only in Zimbabwe, but outside. So the moment you fight, it doesn't mean BT is going to be president or is going to be more popular than Chamisa. But your whole thing's just looking like just some ragtag thing, which has got no meaning. This is the danger that we have here, and they need to manage it. Chamisa needs to not sleep tonight, calling people, deal with this thing, and make sure that it's addressed. Let's go to bio. Say Gabakwe Chamisa ati amziwe ayireba musisi not zokumira yese. I agree with you. I know this thing. I talk to people in Chamisa's office. They tell me these things. I understand more than you do. What I'm trying to explain to you is, be careful who stands next to you. Basically, I guess next time you understand, right? When someone says the one who comes and stand next to you, don't just let them stand there. Remember when ED was standing with the wrong people? What happened? It became a big issue. This is the same issue that we were talking about. And deal with things before they happen. See things, see around the corners. Chamisa now needs to see around the corners. This is what we need to talk about. And we don't want more splits. When you're demanding dialogue, you don't want to weaken yourself before that dialogue happens. So I really appreciate you joining here. Please give me about 20 more minutes. Then we'll upload the video, the audio of Senator Kalipani Pogeni and MP Prince Dube Kosmanda. They had a long interview last night. I've got that interview. I'm going to upload it on Sengezo. Sengezo himself cannot speak because he's in court. That is the only reason why Senator Kalipani Pogeni is speaking there, because Sengezo is in court. He cannot speak, he cannot express those things that he wants to say. So let's talk about this again tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be catching up on, obviously, SADC. SADC is disappointed a lot. They basically dumped Chamisa, and I'll give you the details tomorrow. But I'm very, very impressed by the CCC in general. I'm happy with what they're doing. They are controlling themselves. They are staying focused. But this is a big distraction. Let's see how Chamisa deals with it, and we'll take it from there. Thank you very much, everybody. And let's go out with that clip again from Nelson Chamisa. Very, very interesting.
Are you saying you do not know this person quoted as Sengezo Tshabangu?
No, we don't know that person. That person is not in our structures. We don't even have that person as an office holder.
Right, they don't know him. He was just standing with him there in Bulawayo. And this is during COVID days. Thank you very much, everybody, and good night.
Kuno, abo, bano, mama wanna get it, mama wanna get it nice. I know food I miss, I know food I